Hi guys, welcome to our new stream. I welcome you behalf from the financial analyst team. I'm so happy to see you after a very long time. My name is Akash Malhotra and I'll be your financial analyst for today's stream. So good to see you. I have a lot of things to share with you. So today's stream will be completely dedicated on the market analysis that we'll be doing for today. I have a lot of news that we can work upon and we'll try to analyze the market based on the best market scenario and we'll see what we can do. So, welcome to all of you. First of all, from the financial analyst team, my name is Akash. And if you know me, it's been more than 5 years for me that I'm working here with the company as a financial analyst. And our objective is solely depend upon to help our client to the best possible extent as we can. Guys, the comment session is yours. Make sure if you have any question that you wish to ask, please feel free to ask us in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer your all questions and doubts in there. At the same time, we'll be talking about the market in much more detail. Let me know how do you feel about today's stream. If you have any question, feel free. The comment section is all your guys. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Okay, so we'll wait for I think a minute. Forgive me, it took me a little while to activate the stream. I was facing a little technical inconvenience there, but yeah, it's been finally resolved. So welcome to the stream. And yeah, if you have any question, again, the comment section is all your guys. We have one comment, Mr. Khan. Please give me 500 USD. Thank you very much for joining the stream, Mr. Khan. I wish that could have been possible, but unfortunately, I cannot say, with certainty. But then, guys, this stream is for educational purpose. Let me tell you that this stream has been basically trying to give client the context how the market really works and what are the different analogies that we can apply in today's stream so that it would be more fruitful for us in the future. You can use it for the educational purpose. Whatever I'll be teaching, it will be completely based on my experience. Do not try to copy my trades. This is just a humble advice from my end. Let's start our stream. Okay, so I have few more news for you. Anyways, we'll start off with one of the major economic news event which has been lined up for us. We'll be talking about the market and what are the existing market circumstances. And based on these circumstances, we will try to analyze the market trend and hopefully we'll be able to find a very good entry point for ourselves. Now, the market analysis objective was one of the first initiative that we are trying to provide client to the best possible extent that trading is absolutely easy once you know how the market is basically behave. So yeah, let's begin our conversation. So guys, I have a few more news events for you, which we can basically work on for this week. So let's start with the last week market analysis. So I was watching the market very closely in the last week, and we were trying to optimize the fair entry points for ourselves. I think the screen is been stuck. Just give me a moment. Let me reload the screen. Some of you probably will know about the market. I mean, the economic calendar, absolutely. If you don't, that's completely fine. Please let me know in the comments section that you basically want this session, a fundamental analysis session, to be conducted in the stream itself. I will be gathering your feedback and I'll be more than happy to assist you onwards, guys. So we have a couple of comments. Mr. Salim Rajaji said, hi, hello, Salim ji. Welcome to the stream. You're from Kashmir. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the stream. So let's begin our conversation, guys. So we'll start with the very first analysis. Let's just open. So probably you would be knowing about this. So we'll be opening up the economic calendar in here. And I'll give you a little context how the market behaved in the last week and what would be the trading advice, the trading advantages that we will have for today's stream. So let me just apply a couple of filters here in case you don't know about it. That's completely fine. What we are trying to understand how this number works. And if you need a special session on that, I'll be more than happy to assist you in that in the upcoming stream onwards. Okay. So let's find some good entry points. Let's open last non-farm payroll. Guys, let me know in the comment section how many of you are aware about non-farm payroll. Now, this is one of the best datas, I must say, because here the chances of probability, the probability of profit would be tremendously good if you know how to work up with this data. And we'll see how we were able to manage our profitability in this non-farm payroll. I'll show you my existing trade, and I hope I'm very hopeful that you might like these. Okay, so let's begin our conversation. So if you can see in the chart itself, Let me just apply three filters. Okay. So last week, guys, there this one exactly amazing moment happened. So we call this moment as non-farm payroll. The data is been released once in every month, exactly on Friday at 7 p.m. This is according to the Indian Standard Time. Now we can change the time frame. You can change it according to your local time frame, and we can get to know about that. So let's start with USD JPY. So if you watch it USD JPY very closely, let's observe it. Let's look at the candle that exactly in the last week at 7 p.m. Give me a moment. Okay. So let's begin our conversation. So as I told you, the USD JPY exactly at 7 p.m. non-farm payroll data released. And if we look into this graph, we can see that this data is red. That means it was expected to have 1,59,000 new recruitments. Rather than that, 1,51,000 recruitments were there. Employment, more than 3,40,000 companies do participate in this data. And if you'll see the unemployment rate, it is close to 4.1%, which is worse than the estimated value. 0.1% increase in an unemployment rate is a suggestion that nothing is going according to the plan for US. So what we can see exactly at USD JPY, I want you to show you this candle. This is amazing candle, in my opinion. So let's just check it all together. Okay, so somewhere around exactly in the last week, yeah, here is the candle. Guys, the candle was red. The data was red, and so is the candle. But here, the market sentiments were highly bullish, were needed to be highly bearish. But then the rejection happened and the market started rising up. For those seasoned traders, the market actually behaved itself in the downward direction. And here, if you see, when the price of USD decreases, it inversely varies to the variation in gold. And this is how we exactly trade it. If you look into the timing, it's 7:02:27. This is according to the Indian Standard Time, absolutely. And here we can see this amazing variation. The candle dropped, and we know for sure that the market has to rise, and that is the reason we took the trade exactly in upward direction. And this has impacted the market to the great extent. Now let's look into this data, and I also have taken some of the more trades in forex, and based on this existing value, I have a few more good news for you as well. So we'll start with you gold. On gold, we made $192, $49, 376, and $47. These are all the trades that we have taken on non-farm payroll. I think we have one more comment. Mr. Santoshi said, hello, hello, Santoshi, how are you doing? Let's talk about this week market analysis. Guys, let's watch very closely. There is this one pair that I was very concerned about. I was watching it very carefully. Now let's observe it. I selected the graph for 30 minutes, and here we go. Okay, Brent. Guys, if we switch Brent to 1 day graph, Brent is a crude oil which has been boiled, and then there are three byproducts have been from, which is diesel, petrol, and kerosene. Although not many people are aware how kerosene will be available or not. But then we talked about the petrol and diesel. So all there is a Gulf countries who basically are the regulators of like what sort of values would be there, the value of the existing financial market values. So this is $70 per barrel. Now let's watch this very carefully. We selected the graph for a day, and I want you to observe one specific pattern. We are basically observing on how many intervals candle did bounce from this existing moment. So here, this is we call it as a support level one, where the candle bounced particularly at five different occasions. So the very first occasion on 13th of March, May, and One, two, three, four, five. There were five intervals on which the Brent bounced from this point. This what we call it as a support level one. So let me change the value from 71. Let me just change the color and here we go. So this red line is an indication for the first support level. Now again we zoom out. Market reached the lowest sentiments on 5th of March. Again we mark this one point and we zoom out. One, two, and barely there is a third moment. And once we observe this guys, what we can observe in here is this level will act as a great level of support. Now, in my opinion, if I were in your shoes, if you check my trade, I open one trade in upward direction. You can select the value of multiplier as you may wish. But in my opinion, this is a very good entry. In the future, it has a lot of potential to rise, and it can give a good amount of profitability to all you guys there. So Mr. Khan said today news, what's the time? So today there are certain news event, but not major economic news event. Yep, as we can see, it's been completely blank. Not many major economic news event. Although we have couple of more news lined up. We'll start one by one at a time. In case, Mr. Zarek, you are specifically looking out for one news, let me know in the comment section. I'll be working on that as well. I'll give you some insight about it, definitely. So on Brent, guys, that's the first conclusion that we are trying to suggest from the market condition, from the existing market condition. There is a good chance, there is likelihood chances for the value of gold to be rising in the upcoming trend because again, it is very close to the nearest support level. Again, this is not a trading advice. In my opinion, it's my personal opinion. Brent has a very good chances to rise from these price levels. So that would be the first logical entry which I find out would be considerable from my opinion. If you'll see, I already have opened like around $8,000 trade. I hedge my position, another one in here. So one trade is profitable close to like around 7%. I'll be waiting for the market to rise once more and we'll see how the market react afterwards. Now recently guys, we know for sure the value of Bitcoin. I want you to watch it very closely. There's a second entry that we are discussing here, the second market update. It's regarding Bitcoin. We switch the graph to 1 minute duration, 1 hour, 1 day duration completely. Now here I want you to observe this. One and two. The Bitcoin basically dropped on the regulation part, and Mr. Trump basically in the future suggested that there is a very good chances that they will be, regulating this, and they will be making it's a as a part of U.S. economy. Although there will be a lot of regulations that needed to be done, since there is no clarity on it. That is the only reason why the Bitcoin price first of all dropped, then rose, and then again dropped down. Now, in my opinion, Bitcoin is very good level right now. 80K. We know for a fact that whenever the value of asset come close to the round number of 80,000, we may say like 90,000, 70,000. These values act as a very good level of support or resistance. Now, if we may see this existing level, the Bitcoin value is been stuck at this price level. It is still been correcting. We cannot be very sure, but it's still in the correction phase. But it has higher probability to rise from this point. If you look into the market in more detailed manner, in my opinion, this will be in the future context has a lot of chances to rise. So not only Bitcoin will rise, but Bitcoin along with its subsidiaries cryptocurrency, if you may say, it's Ethereum, right? It's the second most cryptocurrency which has been used worldwide. It has a higher chances to rise, and that's another reason why I'm holding my position of around $500 on Ethereum. Because if the value of Bitcoin rises, it basically impact Ethereum in the same way because they have a correlation of around 0.85%. In general, we can say that 85% correlation is there from the Bitcoin and Ethereum. So whenever the value of Bitcoin rises, it also drags Ethereum along with it, and there is a high probability for Ethereum price to rise from this point. And this is another point we are keeping into the loop, that we have taken a trade and we are just holding a position, guys. So this entry point could work in our favor. This is an excellent entry, and I want you to have a very closer observation of this. That's the second entry point, guys. That's the second market update, in my opinion. Now, I want you to embrace yourself for the future market updates. Especially, it will be completely dominating the market day after tomorrow. That is on Wednesday. Exactly on a Wednesday, we have one of the most important news event, and in my opinion, it will be impacting the market in an amazing way that we never have seen. There's a high chances for it. We talked about Bitcoin. We talked about Ethereum. We also talked about Brent. Here comes the 4 point for you. Now, if some of you are not very sure what I am talking about, I'll make sure that you understand this point very clearly. If you don't, please let me know in the comment section. I will be giving you much more context how this basically works. So US will be releasing its consumer price index data. Now, what does CPI really means? CPI is a term, or we can say that acronym for inflation. Consumer price index is a data which has been released in every month by US between 10th to 13th, and it has the highest volatility seen in the recent times. I'll show you some of the examples in here to give you more context or information about it. Let's talk about it. So consumer price index data will be released. Now I want you to take a very closer look on this, because this week consumer price index data will be released. We already know for sure that the employment data wasn't that great enough. And here, if CPI is on the high side, we'll think about both of the hypotheses. How the market will react. So first of all, we'll think about the possibility how CPI will impact gold, USD variation, and how we will be able to make profit out of it. It is just an hypothesis that we are creating about this news, and we'll see how this basically impact the market. Right, so that is the first hypothesis. So let's just consider if this all data turned out to be green, the consumer price index, that means the inflation is on the rising side. If the inflation is on the rising side, it is also a suggestive indication that needs to be corrected. Government always try to find out a reason to decrease inflation. Now, in the recent time, there are higher chances for the US to be in the recession, because I was reading an article on Bloomberg, which was a suggestive indication that uh, there is a slim possibility for US to be in the recession period because of the lot of factors. That's the recent government has been taken the step forward, and but we still will be able to manage in the market how the market behaves. So I have one good news event on which we can basically capitalize our entry on. So I'll give you a little glimpse about it. So let's just suppose hypothetically the consumer price index data is green. Okay. Exactly at 7 p.m. This is exactly at 6 a.m. PM, I must say. This is according to the US Indian. This is according to the Indian Standard Time, and you can change it according to your time from this table here. So the news is, when the consumer price index data, if it is red, or let's just suppose if it is a green data, the value of gold will decrease, because the variation in USD are inversely proportional to variation in gold. So what really happens? There are good chances that the value of gold will decrease. But there is one more news I wanted to share with you, because in the last week we discussed that the unemployment rate data was higher. So US need to create jobs. There are higher chances that it has to increase the employability. In order to do that, they will possibly reduced interest rate. And this interest rate decisions will be taken on 19th of March. Okay, just give me a couple of more minutes. This news will make great sense to you. So the CPI data is suppose red, suppose green. Fed will be releasing their interest rate decision on 19th of April. They haven't decided whether they will be increasing or decreasing. So if this Fed interest rate decisions, there are higher chances if the CPI data is green, US will think about, or Mr. Jeremy Powell will think about decreasing interest rate. And when they will try to decrease interest rate, the value of gold will try to decrease on day after tomorrow. If the data is green, that means gold will decrease. But when the interest rate have been decreased, people tend to invest more in the safe haven. And right now, one of the safest haven in the world we have seen is gold. So, in order to sum up what I just said, exactly on this Wednesday, if the value of USD increases, that means the inflation is on the higher side. The gold will try to decrease itself with the bearish sentiments. And if that happens, there is a good chances that the Fed will decrease interest rate, and this will ultimately be a buying point for gold. To sum up what I just said, on if on this Wednesday the value of gold according to IST, if a 6 p.m. decreases, there are good chances that the gold will probably try to increase. And I want you to have a very close look on these guys. So we talked about four major economic news events. The very first moment we try to understand is the value of Bitcoin. Good chances for the Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section how do you feel about today's stream. I really wanted your feedback on this because your feedback matters a lot. As a company, we love your feedback, and your feedbacks help us to grow this community. And by the way, if you like today's stream, you can, press like, subscribe to Olymptrade, and share with your friend who loves trading. And let me tell you, trading is not that difficult if you know how to make money in the financial market. Again, this is an initiative taken by Olymptrade to reach all of you guys, to make you understand how easy it is to understand financial market. And once you know, the better are the probabilities for you to make a great amount of profit, right? So there were four moments that we discussed. In this week, these are the special moments. And I will, in the next stream, I will definitely try to show you my live trade in it. If I had an probability of showing the trade to you, if I would be taking, I will definitely will be taking a trade on the CPI news event. Embrace yourself, guys. Exactly on 12th of March, exactly at 6 p.m. in the evening, consumer price index data will be released, and again, it will be impacting the market to the greatest possible strength. In case if you are willing to know about any specific news event, if you need any, uh, you know, uh, questions that you may want to ask, and if you need any specific information about any specific news event, may it be CPI, PPI, that is producer price index. Yeah, I completely forgot about another thing. So the consumer price index data. Soon after the consumer price index data, there is another data which will be released on 13th. We call this as producer price index. Now, in my opinion, while I was observing this data from couple of years, I often tend to find one similarity in PPI. I'm not making a claim out of it, but there is this one observation which I have found on PPI. To give you more context about it, let me show you one of its previous results, guys. Okay. So let me click on this data. If you click on this data, it will show you what this data really is and what it really meant. I scroll it down. I'll show you one of the previous results of this data. So on 13th of February, this data was released. Okay, so let's do one thing. Here we'll go to 13th of February. All right. And here you see the PPI data is green. Okay, this is an observation which I've been doing from a long time. This is not a trading entry or anything like that stuff, but I want you to understand the concept. Whenever producer price index data is lined up, so it's been usually released next day after CPI. I want you to show you candle. Or 13th of February, we can check the candle with USD since it will be impacting USD here. I'll show you one of the datas and you make your own assumption based on it, guys. This is amazing thing. Okay, so we'll select USD JPY, all right? And the data date is 13th of February, exactly at 7. Let's just check it together. 13th of February, 7 p.m. Let's call the data into the previous day. 13th of January, exactly at 7. Okay. Guys, did you observe anything? The data was green and the candle formation is red. So this is a homework for you. I want you to check this data's history and you will find one similar pattern in PPI. The history of the data suggests in whichever the direction the data indicates, candle often tend to move itself in the opposite direction. This is just a small observation that I've been doing from a very long time. And in case you want to check that one out by yourself, you can select any date from the specific list, check the candle timing, and see how many times the repetitive nature of these has been formed. And this will be helping you out in much more greater manner. I wish I could have more time to discuss with you. Guys, again, your feedbacks matters a lot to me. In case if you have any question, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. If you like today's stream, make sure you like this channel, subscribe and share with your friends. It's always been pleasure to meet you and I will be keep on visiting you starting from this week onwards. 30 minutes went by like anything. Thank you very much for staying ahead with me, guys. I'll be coming up with few more trading ideas and hopefully I want you to check the day before, day after tomorrow's candle and I'll show you my trade just like I show you the trade that I've executed on non-farm payroll. So thank you very much for having me for today's stream. It was lovely having you in this session. My name is Akash and I'll be signing up for today. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.